Hey everybody, Average Gamer here. So I've noticed over the last little while, a lot of people have been doing cookings with and stuff like that. And over the last couple times I've had a live stream, I've mentioned that, I like to do briskets and roasts and all that stuff on my smoker. So I made the decision to do this quick little video. It's going to be a multi video just about how I do my briskets. This one's gonna be a little different. I mean, I do them differently almost every single time, but I thought, why not relocate the camera a little bit better and show you guys. There we go. What I do. So first things first. So here's our brisket. It's about an 8-pound brisket. I got it from if you guys watch my videos often. The gaming videos there. Buster Hyman is one of the guys in our unit here for the 421st. He's actually our local butcher as well. So, yeah, you got me a nice brisket. Couple things you need to know about one cooking brisket. Usually you can just throw whatever you want on them and throw them on the barbecue if you want. I like to take mine as a multi-stage process. So the first process I like to do is to kind of dry age it a little bit. Or not even dry age it, just kind of something to absorb some of the moisture out of it and stuff like that. Over here is the saran wrap that is going to go on to, the saran wrap right there. It's going to go on that a little later, but first we just want to deal with this. And what I'm going to do, this is actually going to sit on the brisket for the next 2 days. This brisket's not going to be actually made for a couple more days. But I want it to dry it a little bit because, as you can see here, it's really juicy. Lots of juice and stuff. So, but I want to kind of dry it out a little bit and impart some flavor into it before I actually do my seasoning with my rub. The rub I'll be using is this right here. Pit Happens. Haven't used this before, so I want to try it. If I can relocate my thing here, I got a lot of rubs that I use, so yeah. So anyways, in this little thing we're gonna do, we're gonna have the brisket sit in. It's smoked paprika, garlic, salt, a Himalayan salt to be specific. Usually I'd use a smoked salt to go with the smoked paprika, but I ran out of smoked salt. And then the last thing here is a roasted garlic and onion mix with a little bit of cayenne and Cajun spicing in it. Basically, this is just going to go on the rub temporarily for the next day or two, and then we'll actually do the rub, the proper rub with the actual seasoning. So, what we're going to do first is dry this puppy out. One thing I like to use is a towel to dry it out. So what I'm going to do is hold it like so, turn it over. So as you can see, a lot of juice just from it sitting. This brisket, I think Mitch gave it to me. It was like only like a day or so old. Put that over in the sink. So it's a really fresh brisket. What I'm going to do next is bring my towel out a little bit here. There we go. And all I'm going to do is just kind of massage it a little bit. Don't want to press down on it. I basically just want to support it with the towel. And the towel itself naturally should absorb any little extra things. Now, usually at this point is when you would trim your brisket, trim the fat off on certain parts and all that stuff. If you're lucky like me and you got a good butcher in Mitch, he trimmed this thing already pretty good. I don't have to really do anything to it. Let's open this up. We'll give it a look. He also wrapped it for me to kind of keep it nice and tender. is good. And that's from perfect. One thing you want to do too at this stage is later on you got to cut it properly. I look at to figure out where the grain is sitting with it. So like I know right now here the grain kind of goes this way for the moment. And later on if I need to, I can change things or modify things if I have to. So, one thing you want to do at this point, basically the part I kind of cut off there. Basically, what I would do next is give it like a lemon wash. I did that, and you guys kind of missed it because my phone took a shit. So the next thing I'm gonna do is put on our little stuff here. Now, all this is gonna do is help draw out some of the moisture. And basically, then it's just gonna sit in this for the next couple days. So, what we're gonna do is basically we're just gonna mix it with our fingers. And basically just kind of almost like a rub, basically, is what we're going to be doing here. Usually with a rub, you'll have some sort of medium that you'll use to kind of help the meat stick. All we're going to use basically is just the natural moisture, actually, of the brisket. And we're just going to give it a quick little roll. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy. Basically a nice dry concoction to help draw out some of this moisture. Now, one of the things you want to do too, obviously, is make sure you get both ends. To do that, I do something very, well, what a lot of people call strange, but this is what I'll do. Get some of it down, and just kind of lay it. So that's about the area we're going to be doing there. Basically, I just get the brisket and kabunk. Done. Then just give it a nice little rub. Sometimes I find the hardest part actually is the tip. So all I do is just something like this. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fantastic. So that's basically our dry rub, or not even a dry rub, just our anti-moisture rub, as I like to call it. So now what I'll do, wash my hand off real quick. Now that my hand is are completely covered, and our liquidiness here, I'm going to wrap up the brisket in cellophane. So I'm going to move the camera so you guys will be able to see that. And all I'm going to do is place the brisket like so. And I'm going to make sure that I stand in the light when I do this, for the record. Okay. all we do pull over once. Make sure you go nice and hard. Make sure you tuck it in very tightly. Now, luckily enough, Mitch tied the brisket for me. But there we go. Nice and dried, nice and set up to dry. Now, what's going to happen is this is just going to be done loose, meaning I'm now just going to let it sit like this. Now, there is a couple hole pockets. There's a little bit over here, here in the corners, here and here, which I'm not too worried about. Like, I'll just fold those in, but I want air to get in. The reason why is because a lot of the salt mixture and a lot of the other stuff in these rubs are actually going to help draw that moisture out, which will then make it so that we can put some of this this better rub on. Once we put this on, then it's a matter of getting a nice charcoal fire going on our smoker and making this thing awesome. So we're going to go put this in the fridge, and in the next episode or the next video, I will be putting this, I'll be actually washing this. That's the other thing too. After this, it sits for a day or two. I'm actually going to rinse a lot of this off. I'm going to get like a damp cloth and kind of moisturize it off a little bit. I'm not really going to wash it because I don't want any of the water to get into it. So I usually use a paper towel, damp paper towel, and I'll wipe this thing clean. Once that's done, then I put on my rub. A lot of it. But that's it for day one of a couple day process. This will sit in the fridge for 2 days. So Saturday is when I'll be taking it out next and putting the rub on it. And then the rub will sit on it for about a day or so. And then should be good to go. So I'll see you guys then. See you in the battlefield.